Breaking news and welcome back to ThisJustin's WWE 2k24 Universe Mode, in which here in this part we are featuring a tag team matchup of dream epic proportions as we see the Golden Lovers going up against some of the pillars of All Japan Pro Wrestling and Japanese Pro Wrestling in the 90s, that being Kenta Kobashi and Mitsuharu Misawa, two legends in their own right. And we will see here tonight the return of the Golden Lovers tag team arriving here in Universe Mode. First off, we're featuring who might be the MVP of Universe Mode this year for AEW, and it's hard to argue that point. Introducing first is the cleaner, Kenny Omega. And since Kenny Omega won the AEW World Championship back at AEW All Out back in 2K22, Kenny Omega would go on to, after defeating Andrade El Idolo at that event, go on to have so many numerous successful title defenses in the coming months, and going on to be the longest reigning champion in that title's lineage with 448 days held as the champion, that culminating earlier this year when he went up against, at the end of last year, where he went up against Kevin Owens at AEW World's End, ending the championship reign of Kenny Omega with the momentum that Kevin Owens came into this Universe Mode season with, coming off of his stint in WWE earlier this year and then entering AEW and shooting directly up to the top. But throughout Kenny Omega's championship lineage, he has had amassed so many championship defenses. But next up, we're seeing entering the ring is his partner in the Golden Lovers, that being Kota Ibushi. We saw Kota Ibushi last month make his return at PWG one battle after another in singles competition against Roderick Strong, that being the first time that we've seen Kota Ibushi here in Universe Mode, going back all the way to WWE 2k18, where Kota Ibushi was featured in the finale episode in a singles match against the Demon Prince Finn Balor. Some of Kenny Omega's championship defenses over his championship reign include a successful defense against AJ Styles back in 2K22 at Full Gear, and then at Winter is Coming and Revolution, successful defenses against Swerve Strickland. Then entering this year in Universe Mode, Kenny Omega would go on to lead his team in the Anarchy in the Arena match, featuring him, Kurt Angle, and DIY to pick up the victory in the Anarchy in the Arena, thanks to Kurt Angle getting the submission. Kurt Angle then would go on to have a championship match against Kenny Omega at AEW All in Wembley, in which Kenny Omega was successful, and then 2 weeks later, Kenny Omega would go on to face Jon Moxley for the championship. Then later that year, facing former AEW Tag Team Champion Randy Orton and defending the championship successfully at AEW Full Gear before finally losing it to Kevin Owens at World's End. But now we see entering the ring here Kenta Kobashi, a man who in Universe Mode is yet to have, I think, appeared for Universe Mode. If he has, it's going all the way back to 2K18, similar to Kota Ibushi here in this matchup. And making his presence known here in Universe Mode, Kenta Kobashi, certainly a force to be reckoned with. And coming to the ring next as his tag team partner is the legendary Mitsuharu Misawa. And Mitsuharu Misawa, I can confirm, was in Universe Mode at a certain point. He was in WWE 2K18 Universe Mode, where he was featured at the NXT TakeOver New Orleans show, in which he faced Shinsuke Nakamura in singles competition all the way back in 2K18. So a tremendous return here for Misawa here in Universe Mode, and what a place for him to be positioned here alongside one of his longtime rivals in Kenta Kobashi, but going up against two of the greatest of all time that we've ever seen, the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. We've seen Ibushi in the past, back in 2K18, stand up and represent for Kenny Omega in his championship efforts when Kenny Omega came ever so close to winning the Royal Rumble that year. and also came close to winning the Triple Crown Championship from Pete Dunne back at SummerSlam. But now Kenny Omega connecting with a series of strikes there, follows it up with a V-trigger bicycle knee to the face of Kenta Kobashi that takes him crashing down. And now suplex position, Omega immediately dropping Kenta Kobashi, drilling him down with that brainbuster. And now Omega sending Kobashi back into friendly territory for him to potentially make the tag to his partner Kota Ibushi. And this being the first time we've seen the Golden Lovers tag team here in AEW or in Universe mode, at least in quite some time. I don't believe that they have partnered up, though, at least since 2K18, considering Kota Ibushi's years-long absence. But now, here in the Tokyo Dome, going up against, here in this matchup, is featuring 4 of the most legendary Japanese pro wrestlers of all time, or at least the men who have wrestled here in Japan, some of the most prolific here in the nation's history. Kenny Omega, of course, being a Canadian, however, certainly making a name for himself here in the Tokyo Dome throughout the years. And now we see the tag was made to Mitsuharu Misawa. However, Kobashi gets the advantage on Kenny Omega on the inside of the ring, which leaves him in a prone state where he is forced to crawl over to the corner in order to make the tag to Kota Ibushi, who we see immediately lands that bicycle knee strike that Kenny Omega utilized earlier on in this contest. Misawa, however, shutting things down with a massive clothesline there, and now reversal on the Irish whip attempts there, looking to get him in the corner. However, Misawa fighting back out of the corner with that back elbow, now runs into Ibushi, who catches Misawa off guard with that Pele kick, and then before Misawa can fully lay prone, Kota Ibushi catching him with that roundhouse kick. And now Ibushi returning him to friendly territory where he can make the tag in to Kenny Omega, and we're seeing the first bit of tag team offense here. A brainbuster there from Ibushi, and a frog splash from the top rope from Kenny Omega early on in this matchup. The Golden Lovers putting in work as a tandem here, and certainly paying off that tag team offense being utilized by the team. Now head kicks from Kenny Omega, keeping Misawa down. And getting the early advantage are the Golden Lovers. Perhaps the fact that they operate as a team in the past, and perhaps that working in their favor here tonight against a team, despite the fact that Misawa and Kobashi are legends. You'd have to think, given their years-long rivalries and frustrations with one another, that despite starting off as a team, that they may not really be on the same page here tonight. Now another bicycle knee there from Kenny Omega, follows it up with an elbow drop from one of the most acclaimed champions here in Universe Mode history. And it was a long road to the top for Kenny Omega, where he attempted on multiple occasions to acquire the Triple Crown Championship from Pete Dunne and acquire the World Championship on numerous other occasions from others. And now we see Mitsuharu Misawa with the electric chair, and Kobashi follows it up with a bulldog, crashing down off of the top rope, coming all the way down and drilling the face of Omega face first into the canvas to devastating effect. Kenny Omega has been around for so long here in Universe Mode, competing in a multitude of seasons, a multitude of brands that he has come witness to. Back at the show that I mentioned earlier, where Kota Ibushi back in 2K18 was facing Finn Balor, on that same night, Kenny Omega was going one-on-one with King Ricochet. And now a pinfall attempt after that cross-legged Fisherman Buster, utilizing the knee, and now Misawa breaking up the pinfall attempt there. Kobashi looks to get back up to his feet, but Omega wisely staying on the attack here. And now with the arms, butterfly position, could be looking for a J Driller from Kenny Omega to Kobashi, but Kobashi essentially no-selling it, getting right back up to his feet and not allowing Kenny Omega even an ounce of momentum here to fight back into this match, as Kobashi takes him down with an overhand chop, and perhaps utilizing the fact that that chop incapacitated Omega, utilizing that opportunity to briefly recover, and now a Saito suplex to Omega that sends him to the outside. And now Kobashi here diving to the outside with a tope suicida, but Kenny Omega wising up to it and able to sidestep, now targeting the leg of Kenta Kobashi here at ringside, and now sends Kobashi crashing hard into the barricade. Omega now motioning for Kenta Kobashi. This could be the end of Kobashi's attempt here at remaining on the offensive maneuver, or on the offense at least, for Kenny Omega, and now follows it up with a V-trigger rebounding off of the ropes. Kenny Omega to devastating effect, utilizing those bicycle knees here in this matchup. Now takes Kobashi into the corner and makes the tag here to Kota Ibushi, where they utilize a tandem wheelbarrow lung blower opportunity from the two of them. Now Ibushi looking to create the separation there with Kenta Kobashi. Looks to go for the dragon suplex, but instead breaking the hold and then straightjacketing the arms was Kota Ibushi to land that German suplex on Kobashi. And now Ibushi getting Kobashi back up to his feet and gonna once more return Kobashi over to his corner where he can make the tag into Omega yet again. And frequent tag team maneuvers being utilized by these two. Knee to the midsection and a terminating knee there from Kenny Omega to the face of Kobashi. And now wrist clutch, capturing the arms, connects with yet another V-trigger to the face of Kobashi, and again is going to target the legs, does the Cleaner, who is now living up to that name by knocking Mitsuharu Misawa off of the apron and clearing off the competition as he looks to go for the V-trigger. No, instead a double hand chop to the chest of Kobashi that takes Kobashi down to the mat and rolls all the way to the outside. Perhaps Kenny Omega looking to make the tag here now to Kota Ibushi, perhaps knowing that Ibushi can utilize this positioning even better, and does so with that rope twisting tope plancha off of the top. Corkscrew plancha to the outside from Kota Ibushi, crashing down hard on Kobashi. And now Kobashi, however, with the fireman's carry position, drops Kota Ibushi throat first across the ropes, makes the tag to Misawa. Probably a wise call there from Kobashi to do so. Sidestepping that now is Kota Ibushi, who sidesteps the springboard forearm. And now Ibushi with a running knee strike and catches him with that spinning heel kick, does Mitsuharu Misawa. Misawa now with Kobashi getting back up to his feet, takes him up and over. Now with the head scissors, Misawa follows it up with a elbow strike, pinpointed on the crown of the head. Pinfall attempt now from Misawa, but yet again Kota Ibushi, ever the resilient fighter, is going to continue on in this matchup. Now Irish Whip attempt, reversal here. Reversal, however, then from Misawa on the way back in. And Misawa yet again going to take Kota Ibushi from a kneeling position and hoist him over for that follow-through powerbomb position, but instead turning it more so into his suplex. And now Ibushi popping Mitsuharu Misawa up and in the air, turning him around and deadlifting him into the German suplex. Near fall on the pin attempt there from Ibushi. Repeated stomps, follows it up with a forearm smash to the face. And now Misawa back up to his feet, capturing the arms, and a knee strike there from Ibushi, one that we saw utilized by Kenny Omega earlier on in this match. However, that time it was on Kenta Kobashi, and this time Kota Ibushi utilizing the same maneuver to bust open the face of Mitsuharu Misawa. You could see the blood leaking from the face of Misawa and Kobashi, both lacerated off of those knee strikes being utilized by the Golden Lovers, and perhaps that being part of their playbook here tonight, to utilize those frequent knee strikes. And now fireman's carry position. Kobashi hoists Kota Ibushi back and towards Misawa, where he catches him for that overhead German suplex. And now Misawa with Kota Ibushi dazed on the apron, connects with an enziguri that takes Ibushi off of the apron. Misawa follows that up now with a combination of strikes here on Omega, and is going to look to follow Omega outside to the apron here and drive Omega down onto the apron with that back suplex. But as he lands, Kota Ibushi catches him with that roundhouse kick. And now Ibushi going to look to bring Misawa back to the inside of the ring here. Ibushi calling for Misawa to get back up to his feet now as the referee's count continues, but diving in with that springboard dropkick, signature move of Ibushi, sidestepped by Misawa, who yet again, utilizing his power advantage on Ibushi, takes him over, and again going to stay on the momentum. Still in this matchup, Ibushi now turning around the momentum and now looks to come charging in to Misawa in the corner. Instead sends him seated along the second rope and goes to the outside, follows it up with a springboard after the Gamengiri, follows it up with a springboard drop kick to the inside, and now taking out Misawa's help in Kobashi in the apron. Now schoolboy roll up and hoist Misawa up and over with a schoolboy super power bomb. Pinfall attempt there, but Misawa's shoulders not being covered by Kota Ibushi there, but Ibushi again utilizing his immense power for a gut-wrench sit-out powerbomb there on Misawa that he thought was going to put away Misawa. And still at this point in the co-main event here, it is really anyone's contest to take away as the tag teams, allowing for all of these competitors to constantly remain fresh within this matchup and still remain in a position where they can make those frequent tags to be able to catch their breath. You see Kenny Omega pretty fresh on the outside, and Kenta Kobashi, despite being knocked down off of the apron previously, returns back to the inside of the ring where he is met with a roundhouse kick there from Kota Ibushi. Ibushi now bringing Kobashi down for the powerbomb, where he is able to back body drop Kota Ibushi up and over and drop him with that double arm DDT now from Kobashi. Kobashi now with the Irish whip. Reversal though from Ibushi, who now sends Kobashi from one side of the ring back over towards his partner Kenny Omega. And as Kobashi crumbles down coming out of the buckle, Ibushi follows up by arm wrenching and stomping to the head of Kenta Kobashi. Now Kobashi taken into the corner here as Ibushi gonna pick him up and lawn dart Kenta Kobashi face first into the middle turnbuckle pad to devastating effect. And now Ibushi boot to the midsection here, hoists Kobashi up and drills him down with a brainbuster, immediately floating over for the pinfall attempt, but Mitsuharu Misawa able to create the separation on that pinfall, breaks it up, and now receives both a bicycle knee to the back of the head and then a Kamigoye for his efforts, as now Mitsuharu Misawa laid out in the middle of the ring allows for Kenta Kobashi to get the advantage with that axe kick. And now Kenny Omega getting involved, elbow drop there from Kobashi that takes down Kota Ibushi and takes him to the outside of the ring, where Kenny Omega now is going to look to follow Kota Ibushi to the outside, looking to return his partner back into legal play here, where now getting Ibushi back up to his feet and taking a tope suicida from Kenta Kobashi that wipes out both men here at ringside. Kenny Omega though still trying to fight back into it, as now Omega being the target at the hands of Kobashi, sending Omega face first into the apron and now around the ringside area. Here now we see Ibushi looking to get back up to his feet here as the referee continuing to count here, getting nearer to his fall, but Kenta Kobashi has returned to the inside of the ring, and now so has Ibushi, who connects with that running enziguri to the face of Kenta Kobashi. Now rolls through into the schoolboy once more, last time utilizing it on Misawa, but this time utilizing it on Kobashi, and the strength for Ibushi to be able to pick up both men in such a fashion. And now moonsault from the top from Ibushi, going to look for the pinfall attempt here, as Misawa powerless to break up the pinfall attempt there despite the referee's discretion. Follows up after that moonsault with a with a corkscrew moonsault from a standing position, and then a springboard lion salt does Ibushi, the madman that he is, absolutely going for all of these insane offensive maneuvers here on Kobashi. Reversal from Kobashi, however, from Kota Ibushi, who looked to get the advantage there in the corner. And now it's going to be Kobashi with the advantage here, who looks to send Kota Ibushi face first into the buckle. Ibushi, though, with the reversal, sends Kobashi back to his neutral territory. Now we see Ibushi make the tag into Kenny Omega here. These two going to work together as Omega has him up in the snowplow, drops down with essentially an Emerald Flosion with Mitsuharu Misawa there on the apron. But before he could do so, instead hitting that roundhouse kick from Kota Ibushi. Now these two working together following that, a bicycle knee strike from Kenny Omega there. Look to capitalize on Kobashi. Series of back elbows now to Kobashi from Omega. And now Omega with a suplex sit out fisherman buster across the knee. But before Kobashi can recover, Omega quickly getting him back up to his feet here, bringing him towards the ropes. And now could be looking for a stop to the midsection. Now Omega fired up, rebounds off of the ropes, comes crashing in with another V-trigger. A maneuver that he has utilized on multiple occasions throughout this match to great success. Turns Kobashi around now and lifts him up for the one-winged angel. Pinfall attempt as he hooks the leg here. Two, and no, Kobashi gets the shoulder up as Misawa, just barely recovering on the apron, would not have been able to make the break for that pinfall. But Kobashi gets the shoulder up. And despite the one-winged angel being protected so much throughout Kenny Omega's career, multiple people throughout Universe Mode throughout the years have kicked out of it. And now instead we see Kota Ibushi now, fireman's carry, roll through, rolling hills, and a 450 there from Omega. Follows it up, more bang for your buck being utilized by the Golden Lovers. We saw the Young Bucks in competition earlier tonight where they picked up the victory over DIY. And now Kobashi takes down Kota Ibushi with that impaling DDT. Ibushi now struggling to get back up to his feet here. Double arm DDT there from Kenta Kobashi. And before Kota Ibushi can get back up to his feet, takes him down with an elbow to the back of the head of Kota Ibushi. Misawa turning around to survey the damage on Ibushi. Unrecognizingly gets tagged in by Kobashi, who looked to get the advantage on Ibushi at ringside, but received a dropkick for his efforts from Ibushi. Ibushi now on the inside of the ring returning, and Kenny Omega allowing the opening for Ibushi to connect with that running enziguri to the face. The shin of Ibushi going face first with Misawa, and now Misawa lawn darted into the middle rope, into the middle turnbuckle pad. Not going to do any favors for the already busted open face of Misawa. And now Kota Ibushi from the top rope with that Phoenix Splash. Look to go for high risk and connect and look to put this match away. But Kobashi interrupting, and for his efforts receiving a slingshot DDT from Kota Ibushi. That, however, allowed Misawa now to springboard off of the ropes and connect with a forearm smash for a 2 count. Kota Ibushi, though, still getting the shoulder up in this match. Both these teams, what is it going to take for one of these teams to actually give in this match, considering the pride that is on the line here? Boots to the midsection, and now a forearm smash to the face. So much history, so much Japanese wrestling history amongst these men to be competing here in the Tokyo Dome. Such a tremendous honor to have this match on the stage. And now following a series of grounded strikes and elbow strikes there from Misawa to Ibushi to devastating effect. Misawa now going to follow it up with a perfect plex to Kota Ibushi that takes him down right in the middle of the ring. And Misawa now making the tag in yet again to Kobashi. Going to allow Misawa a quick breather here in this match. Now, short arm clothesline as Kobashi pulls Kota Ibushi in for the clothesline that looked, the lariat looking to take Kota Ibushi, take his head off of his shoulders with that one. And now Kobashi with Ibushi up, sends Ibushi into the turnbuckle pad, follows it up with a suplex that folds up Ibushi in the corner. And the way that Ibushi's neck came down on that suplex, absolutely devastating offense here. Now we see yet another tag being made from these two. Frequent tags now. We see a burning hammer knee drop from these two. The roles reversed there as Mitsuharu Misawa utilizing the burning hammer and Kenta Kobashi coming down off of the top rope with a huge King Kong knee. But Kota Ibushi quickly answers back in this match, kicking out of it and then connecting with a Pele kick and another knee strike to the face, the kind that busted open Misawa earlier in this match. Now boot to the midsection as Ibushi, a House of Fire, gonna hoist Misawa up and into the air with a last ride powerbomb, but receives a kick to his back at the hands of Kobashi. Now a stomp from Ibushi to the back of Misawa. Both competitors rolling to the outside there as Ibushi now diving down from the top for a huge shotgun dropkick onto Misawa, but accidentally colliding with his tag team partner there. Will that play a factor in this match? The miscommunication there from the Golden Lovers. Now yet another shotgun dropkick from Kota Ibushi. That time sends Misawa face first into the apron. And now Misawa with the boot to the midsection on Omega on the outside. Butterfly suplex there to Omega, taking him out on the outside. And returning now to the inside of the ring is Misawa, where he meets off with Kota Ibushi for a series of strikes. Ibushi now dodging out of the way of that one, answering back and forth through these two men with strikes. Going for one too many low kicks there was Ibushi. Cutter attempt, reversal from Ibushi, able to get the advantage on Misawa as Kobashi now recovering on the apron. And now a fireman's carry position here from Kota Ibushi. Hoist Misawa up and into the Benadryller, connecting with that roundhouse kick. Gut wrench powerbomb to follow it up. And now Ibushi perhaps looking to make the tag in here to Omega, following some more strikes here to Misawa. Now sends Misawa face first now into the turnbuckle pad, brings him out of the buckle. And now we see these two men suplex position. No, hoist him up for the Magic Killer being utilized at the hands of the Golden Lovers. Some good brothers utilizing the Magic Killer to try and put away Mitsuharu Misawa. Dropkick to the seated Misawa to the back from Omega. A maneuver we've often seen him use from the top rope. And now with Omega in the buckle, leg positioned around the ropes. It's perfect for Misawa to capitalize on that with an offensive stomp. And now Misawa looking to be relocated at the hands of Omega to the corner, but fighting back out of it instead. Misawa now getting his Irish Whip reversed by Omega as Omega takes Kenta Kobashi off of the apron with that drop kick. Now going to take Misawa up to a seated position on the top rope. And following him up there does Omega. We see Omega and Misawa now from the top. Half and half suplex from Omega. Takes Misawa up and over. And now looking to capitalize, but Misawa thinking better of it with a series of boots to the leg now, spinning him around discus style into a forearm smash. Omega, however, gets him up for a one-winged angel, taking down Misawa right in the middle of the ring. Pinfall here too, and Misawa gets the shoulder up. Both Misawa and Kenta Kobashi kicking out of the one-winged angel here tonight. Very surprisingly so. Again, not quite the honor that it means in reality. However, here in universe mode, still a tremendous maneuver that has gotten Kenny Omega such tremendous wins throughout the years. And there, Ibushi connecting with the knee strike to the face. Now springboarding off of the ropes, connecting with that handspring Pele kick, forcing Misawa to absolutely crumble off of that exchange. And now Where will this match go as Kota Ibushi looks to go high risk to the top rope? Gonna follow it up with a Phoenix Splash to Misawa as he was crawling to the corner to look and make the tag to Kenta Kobashi. Pinfall attempt here. And only a 2 count once more. Again, still fighting on is Misawa and Kobashi. Endless fight here in this matchup. And now Kota Ibushi turning it around and curb stomping Misawa face first into the canvas after wrenching those legs into a position where Misawa could not escape, following through by driving the boot into the face, and now looking for a twisting plancha yet again from Ibushi. Absolute madman diving to the outside, willing to risk it all, and Misawa now gets the advantage with that tiger suplex here on the outside. But if he can get Kota Ibushi back to the inside of the ring, that is where he wants to get him for the pinfall attempt. Now another drop kick there from Ibushi on the outside. Ibushi now looking to make the tag to Omega, rebounding off of the ropes. Instead, Ibushi now going to climb up to the top rope, thinking better of it. As Misawa now going to return to the inside of the ring. Ibushi comes down, diving down with a double axe handle to Misawa as he looks to return to the inside. Boot to the midsection there from Misawa, and he follows it up with a Northern Leg suplex. Now Kota Ibushi slow to recover, looks to crawl over to the corner to make the tag to Kenny Omega before Kenta Kobashi can stop him, but unable to do so as Kobashi interferes. Kobashi sends Kota Ibushi back to his team's corner, connects with a chop across the chest, taking the wind out of the sails of Kota Ibushi, and then follows it up with a slingshot leg drop to the outside that will also do wonders in terms of taking the air out of the lungs of Ibushi. Now Ibushi being redirected from Kobashi here, looking to be sent into the turnbuckle pad once more. Reversal, however, from Kobashi, who now sends Ibushi into the buckle. Follows it up with a suplex yet again, folding up Kota Ibushi in the buckle there. But it's Kenny Omega now, this time, who creates the separation for his tag team partner, and perhaps this being the spark that Kota Ibushi needed here in this match to reignite his passion for trying to make that tag into Omega. Still trying to fight on, still trying to find a way to make the tag to his partner here, and makes it in doing so as Kobashi makes the tag to Misawa. Omega comes charging in with that V-trigger. Now follows it up with yet another V-trigger, that time the ripcord position on Misawa, and now Kenny Omega, soaking in the adulation of the crowd, follows it up with a hip attack in the corner, roll through, and then a V-trigger to a seated Mitsuharu Misawa in the corner. How many times has Kenny Omega resorted to those knee strikes, but how well is it working for him in this matchup, to be fair? Cross-leg fisherman suplex there from Omega, following the offense in the buckle, and now looks to come in, charging in, and now Misawa reversed off of that cutter opportunity, and Kenny Omega connecting with that V-trigger again, bicycle knee, and another V-trigger attempted by Omega. Instead, Misawa sidestepping it, looks to come charging in with a massive lariat, but now Omega rebounding off of the ropes, springboard, roundhouse kick from Omega, and now Omega suplex position yet again, going to look for the cross-legged fisherman driver across the knee, and makes the tag into Kota Ibushi with Misawa in perfect position now for a Phoenix Splash from Kota Ibushi off of the top rope. Pinfall attempt now on Misawa. 1, 2, and again Misawa gets the shoulder up. Kobashi nearly getting involved, nearly interjecting himself in that pinfall attempt there, but electing not to, as he believed Misawa had the capabilities to kick out of yet another Phoenix Splash there from Ibushi, which once more begs the question, what will these men have to do to put each other down here for the 3 count? Misawa rebounding Kota Ibushi off of the ropes and connects with that bulldog, but Ibushi quickly firing back and fighting back in it, getting the shoulder up. Misawa, however, sending Ibushi into the turnbuckle pad and following it up with a violence party of forearm smashes, Now stomps in the corner too. Ibushi now being taken back up to his feet. Tag in here from Misawa. Tagging in Kobashi. And now we're seeing the other way around being utilized. Burning hammer from the originator Kobashi. And simultaneously a diving knee drop from Mitsuharu Misawa. And luckily Kenny Omega entering the ring at that exchange and breaking up that pinfall, because if he hadn't, I think that would have been the end of Kota Ibushi in this match. And now a DDT outside on the apron here from Omega as he goes after Misawa, not allowing for Kobashi to have any help, but at the same time abandoning Kota Ibushi when he might need him, as Ibushi now fights back out of the corner from a seated position. We see continuously fighting on the outside. Omega now with Misawa up, power slams him spine first onto the apron. Kota Ibushi meanwhile on the inside of the ring, connected with a running boot to the face of Kenta Kobashi, and now looking to target the leg. Now Kota Ibushi with the strength, hoisting Kobashi up, spinning him around, and a sit-out powerbomb. And now Kobashi in trouble with Kota Ibushi now on the inside of the ring, and with the advantage brings Kobashi now over to the corner, where Kota Ibushi following Kenta Kobashi here up to the top rope. Kobashi, however, connecting with some back elbows, but he is in dangerous territory for the two of the Golden Lovers here, as Kota Ibushi, series of elbow strikes now raining down. Do they on Kobashi? Follows it up with a rewind Rana from Kota Ibushi to Kobashi off of the top rope, and now waiting for him to get back up to his feet here, as Kota Ibushi now with the power to hoist up. No, instead the lower spine giving out on Kota Ibushi. I thought he was going to get Kenta Kobashi up in last ride powerbomb position, but now makes the tag in to Omega, and both going up to the top rope. Could be looking for the golden shower from the Golden Lovers, following through, and Kenny Omega looks to take Mitsuharu Misawa off of the apron, does so there. Now could he be looking to put away Kenta Kobashi? Turns him around, and now once more gonna look for the one-winged angel from Kenny Omega. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. The Golden Lovers are successful here in the finale of AEW for this season of Universe Mode here at Wrestle Dynasty and in the Tokyo Dome. One of the biggest wins here in Universe Mode history for Kenny Omega, and that is saying something, as he is one of the most acclaimed wrestlers here in Universe Mode history. But what a way to wrap it up, alongside his partner Kota Ibushi making his return to Universe Mode, and them both with an impressive and incredible tag team victory. Join us for the finale, in which the main event we will see the AEW World Championship decided.